Oh, damn, my thing is all messed up. Oh, welcome, guys. Welcome, everybody. Looking at me, fixing my hair. My name is Hannibal. This guy over there, his name is Pedro. Mr.
No,
Bet on You.
no Diddy, no
We're
Diddy.
gonna talk about a lot of Diddy, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's it. And then I guess we'll talk about some football, and my team's gonna lose. I don't know what Pedro feels about his team, but we'll talk about the NFL a little later. I don't even know who the Giants play, so I should look that up.
I'll pull it. I'll pull it up when. Let me see. You know what? Let me pull it up for you now because as you're already taking the L, but who knows? But let's
The
see.
twenty
Let's
seconds they play again, right? Oh,
yeah, Sunday. Let's see. So you got Giants are playing the Browns in Cleveland.
all right, so that's a loss.
So that's probably a L.
Yeah, that's probably a L.
Unless Deshaun Watson does some Diddy things and he like loses, like
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, he's kind of similar. Well, I don't think nothing's as diabolical as P
no,
Diddy,
no.
but could be a rebound game for him to beat up on a bad team. Like you said, the defense a little better, but with the offense doing what it's doing. And again, Daniel Jones did throw some touchdowns. It's just, yeah, Browns is.
Yeah, so that's what I'm looking at too, Bobby. Yeah, we'll see.
I wouldn't touch it though.
I wouldn't
I,
touch it.
I
That's
wouldn't
the thing.
touch it.
I
They'll
wouldn't.
lose, but
I'm
maybe
not,
go straight. I wouldn't touch the spreads in these
and I'm
games.
not touching. The Bears are playing the Colts, and the Colts are 0-2. They're in Indy. Colts are -1. So
Yeah, there's no reason to put. Yeah, what's the point?
yeah, what's the point? I mean, yeah,
Unless you got like the player props, like something that you think is going to happen.
yeah,
Yeah, what touch that?
yeah. Listen, no Diddy, don't touch that. Listen, I want to ask you a question, okay? Because usually Hannibal is the showrunner here. He has the topics usually, and he controls it all, right? But I need to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Puff Daddy, we knew this was his ex Cassie Ventura, right? Cassie Ventura. He paid her millions and millions of dollars, and but I feel like there were other celebrities, and whether it's Kevin Hart, Cat Williams, 50 Cent, a few others that have hinted to Puff Daddy kind of being a creep, being a whatever, but they just never really said anything the way she did. Now, obviously, her motive is different. They were in a relationship and blah, blah, blah. She's probably more effective than those guys. But let me ask you this. Do you think other people had a responsibility in speaking out to where maybe, other people might not have been impacted? Or do you feel like it's like you don't want to be a snitch in the hip hop world, so you just leave it alone? Even though I think some people knew about this. What do you say to that? Like, should have somebody have said more openly, like, hey, this guy's, should somebody have snitched on him? Or is it just not, what do you think about that?
I think people did talk about it and did bring it up, but they were on the fringes of, I guess you call it, the entertainment world. I mean, Cat Williams literally said,
yeah,
in January, when you asked to go to a Diddy party, you gotta say no. Like it wasn't necessarily a secret. It was everyone knew, but I think a lot of people were held back by how powerful Diddy was. He can make and break your career. And I've seen from one of the lawsuits is threatening a female R&B singer of if you do something that I don't like, I can end you. Then he goes with the Scarface shit, like, oh, you want to be missing, you want to go, you want to die, like that kind of nonsense that you could tell that Diddy does to control people. It's the industry, man. I mean, you could say it's Weinstein. People knew R. Kelly was with that 15, 16-year-old. The industry, especially in hip hop, but at this point, all entertainment, that Hollywood stuff, but in particular in the music industry, a lot of those women, we're talking about women at this point, they have to do things to get ahead.
Yeah,
they all kind of say that they all have to, the record exec or the producer. So this is already probably a toxic environment as well. But then you got some other elements of hip hop where some rappers have talked about this, that male rappers have to do some stuff with another man to get ahead.
So you're
And if you
talking
don't,
like
yeah,
what's the one dude out of Philly, right? Or
Meek Mill, you talking about?
thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
You talking
So
like
there's a
that?
lot of rumors about that, and it looks
Yeah.
like that, we don't know for sure, but it looks like that may have happened. I mean, it kind of, so it's two different situations. If you want to get ahead and you want this life-changing money, this life-changing everything, and this guy can, Diddy can do that for you. Do you sign up to his label? Do you work for him? And then on top of that, what happened if you were another colleague, but you're not as big as Diddy, and you know that if he helps your artist somehow with a feature or a hookup or a connection, that's life changing. A lot of that, and a lot of people have to answer that to, if you're religious, answer to your Lord or to the people that you may have heard or heard in the process. That I think that's the problem. I think many people decided to protect themselves rather than stepping up, and because they don't want their careers, they don't want to be blackballed. I told you before, I think last episode, Wendy Williams was a big DJ in New York City, like popular. People loved her stuff, even though she's gossip, but people like gossip.
Yeah.
As soon and she said this back in the 90s, Diddy is bisexual or gay, whatever, and he's banging a lot of males and rappers and like all that. She was saying this decades ago, and he blackballed her out of New York City in the radio state. Like as soon as he said she got to go, he had all the artists, he had all the hits. So that's the level of control that Diddy had over the industry for so long.
Yeah, I think people chimed in here and there, and I don't know if it's does this happen in the country music world or the rock world? Like I don't know if it's like the snitch, don't be a rat thing with the hip hop culture. It's got people.
Well, I know.
You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna say something, but I'm not really gonna say something. You know what I mean?
I think it happens. I think it happens across the board.
Yeah.
Pop music. I mean, what's that artist that you said you talked to a long time ago?
Oh, Kesha.
You thought you had a chance.
She had a yeah, you're right. I thought I did.
She has a long story about being abused. So yeah, I mean, look how Britney Spears is behaving.
Yeah, it's a good point.
It's definitely the Nickelodeon thing, the documentary on a Nickelodeon, and that one guy that was basically being really weird.
Yeah.
So for something, it's interesting when it comes to arts and music and film. All the creeps hang out there. Like that. All the creeps are there, and if the more powerful they are, the more resources they have. They're going to be the Weinsteins, going to be Diddy's, going to be R. Kelly's, because they have this one ability to either produce or put things together, and use that as a way to be extremely weird. I highlighted Pia's comment. This is where my next video is going to be on the main channel.
I think it's the fallout's going to be.
It's going to be massive. He has had connections with every important artist for the last 35 years. He has been a part of it. I don't care. I don't know that it was. I mean, now since he's a little bit out of the picture, but in the 90s, in the early 2000s, in the 2010s, every popular artist, Diddy had them probably in some kind of party or some kind of event.
Bro, I mean, and the thing that makes it interesting is the wrong word. The thing that makes it, that adds another layer to this, right? Because I listened to Big Carl put it up earlier talking about the prosecutor mentioned sex parties or whatever parties or whatever they called them, right? But then
freak offs.
Thank you. But I felt like he made it a point to mention male prostitutes. He didn't say prostitutes. He said male first, right? In the snippet, right? And so it's like men and women that he's flying out.
Yes.
It adds a different layer, because I think then now, is Diddy gonna is he gonna become the rat and the snitch, and he's gonna be like, well, Jay-Z was here and this person and 50 Cent did come to my party and this record exec and this, because Diddy had friends from all kinds of backgrounds and not just music, right?
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see what he does and how deep they go and how many people are named as accomplices, witnesses, participants in the freak-offs. I mean, Puff Daddy was running basically the Freaknik. Remember Atlanta, the Freaknik they had? He was doing that on his own.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy, man. So it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird.
Bobby says, so bring Ciroc to the party. Let people know what's going down.
Bro, I can't drink Ciroc anymore, man. Can't do it.
Ciroc is too sweet. I mean, yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I'm going to go off a weird tangent. I think we already talked about this, though. The Don Julio. Bobby, you have to, like, why black people love Don Julio so much? They love it. Have I talked about this before?
I don't think you have.
Okay, I'm sorry. I bring this up often.
I want to hear it. I want to hear this.
So, do you know what I'm sure you know what Don Julio is, right? Yeah. Nice little bottle, whatever. Tequila. The blacks love it. And it's okay, guys, I'm black. Black people love Don Julio. Maybe it's just in my neck of the woods. All summer.
I thought it was Casamigos was the thing.
Apparently, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, I've asked, I haven't had it before. But yeah, I thought Casamigos was pretty good. You know, I guess Jose is not as important anymore.
Patron was big back, like early in the 2000s. Patron was like
right.
You know, you go to a bar, like, give me the Patron. It was like the top shelf, but
it's all Don Julio.
Don Julio.
Any party that I've seen, there's a lot of block parties in the summertime, and a lot of them don't clean up after themselves after they finish. So the bottles are all over the streets. Every time I went down and looked at the ground, you know, New York City is not the cleanest place. Don Julio, empty Don Julio bottles. They love Don Julio. And I got to take a test. I talked to one friend that actually works as a bartender. She says it's the price point is good and it does taste good. Like the flavor, like it's worth it.
Yeah.
And I guess if you got those two things working for you, that's pretty good. I don't know how much it costs, but I see big bottles, the small ones.
Don Julio.
Hennessy is overrated. The number one. Hennessy, but for some reason,
the black community, Hennessy.
Yeah, listen, it tastes terrible to me. But yeah, if you went to a party, you would bring the Hennessy because they're gonna drink it. Like it'll be gone. So then they bring in something that's random, no one's gonna touch. But there was one thing my mom actually got this for me early birthday present. Hennessy Pure White tastes great. Now the problem is,
I never heard, what are you talking about?
I'll show you a picture.
Hennessy Pure
I'll show you my
White.
bottle, but it's almost empty. Now I'm making something like I'm drunk.
My man, Big Carl coming in with the Douce VSOP is big out here, VSOP, whatever. And then Remy Martin is a big, you know.
Remy's still a big deal over? Okay,
Remy,
I remember that.
People love the Remy, but I never heard the Don Julio White. Never heard of that.
No. Hennessy White is good.
White. I'm sorry.
Don Julio, I will eventually check that out and give you guys a full review.
Yeah.
So this.
What is that? Never seen that, bro. And I'm in the. I mean, listen.
It's they call it a limited edition. Like it's not available everywhere apparently. And my mom goes, overseas and people buy them overseas.
$90? Damn.
Yeah. So this is so my mom will give this to me because it's usually I like drinking. I don't really mess with Hennessy, but this tastes amazing. And I didn't know how much it cost because I was drinking it and I was like, damn, I'm almost finished with this little bottle. It's only 40 ounces. Not 40. It's how many ounces is that one?
That's probably that's a 750.
It's very small. So I'm drinking. I'm like, oh shit, man, I gotta buy more. Let me check my Uber Eats app. Maybe one get delivered to me. And I looked at like $90.
That's crazy.
I drink too much.
Hold on. Have the chill. Question. Does that say honey?
No, Henny.
No. Okay, it says Hennessy and it says Henny White.
Yeah, Henny White. Yeah.
Okay, I thought. Okay. I mean, yeah. That's interesting. I would definitely try it, but I'm not buying that for $90.
It's a cognac. Yeah. Cognacs. People love cognacs. Yeah. But it to me, it's smooth. It doesn't have that. Again, I don't like Hennessy. I could drink it, but I don't like it. Yeah. That tastes really nice, and I didn't realize how goddamn expensive it was.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. I can do Henny in a mix. I can mix Henny with certain things, and it's okay. Yeah. I can't drink Henny just by itself. It's just not
that. I've had that. I've had that straight, and it tastes smoother. Usually it's like a really harsh, just coming at you, but it's amazing.
So do you think Puff Daddy was using the Hennessy and as part of his drug? He had like a whole Hennessy thing, and with the Ciroc, and he had all the drugs.
Well, yeah, Ciroc is his company, so he had and I don't know if you read the indictment, I did. But basically. What happened is he had, and that's why it's a conspiracy. It's too many people involved in this. getting enough. Thank you. Oh, my boy Jeffrey's hanging in there. What's going on, Jeffrey? So Diddy had a whole thing where no matter where he was, his people, they come communicate. They get girls, prostitutes, male prostitutes. They all go to some location. He brings the lube. There's 1,000 bottles of lube. So you got the baby oil, got everything together.
Wait, hold on. Where did that 1,000 bottles come from? Is that a thing?
They found it. So they found it, and they went to his residence. I forgot where it was, but went to one of his houses for the raid, and found that many bottles of lube around. Like it was that many.
Hold on, because I didn't read it. I know obviously you did. You're more abreast of what's going on.
Yeah.
But they found 1,000 empty or
I don't know.
Or new,
you know what? That's a good question. I gotta look at it. But the affidavit, the indictment is only 14 pages, so it's not too crazy. But either way, I mean, hope they did not use. Oh, gross.
I mean, but what I'm saying is like 1,000 bottles. Like that's like he had to have a closet full of them or something. You know?
Yeah, yeah. He's a rich man. He's a rich man. So I guess with a lot of weird rich people just buy a lot of something, so they don't have to ever go back to Costco and go get another tub. You know what I mean? Like, is it something you would buy in bulk if you had all the money?
Well, let's not try to understand Puff Daddy, because clearly he's not normal. All right.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you. I'll admit, if I had that kind of money, I'd probably buy so many Slim Jims. I love Slim Jims. Every time I walk in the back in the kitchen, I grab a Slim Jim, the little small ones, the big one. I would probably have an entire a
cabinet full
of Slim Jims, different flavors. So we all have our vices.
I hear you, but I don't hear you, because listen, 1,000 bottles of lube. I don't care how much money
you bring it. Well, yeah, yeah, and also does it expire after a while?
I don't know.
So the weird
looked at expiration date on a bottle of KY, but
we should just to make sure it's.
Should I go upstairs and get it? I don't know.
No. I mean, Giggity may be interested to know what was going on.
Giggity got 1,000 bottles.
Oh, so Giggity says the doorknobs were greased up so no one can escape. You guys are killing with the jokes. so yeah, and this is the gross part. So clearly, it looks like Diddy was bisexual or is bisexual.
Well,
so in the indictment, he's watching people have sex, or he's having sex, he's masturbating while this is happening, and this freak off party can last a very, very long time. So long, in fact, that he also buys IV fluids to replenish the people in the party after they're done. So he supplies drugs, women, male prostitutes, the lube, IV fluids. And this is what he thinks is a good time. And then also as a cleaning crew. So wherever he did this, they got make sure they try to limit the damage.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, oh man, it's Is that
that's what's happening?
Is that a good time? I mean, I'm not just gonna could it be a good time? Sure, I guess.
But that's what they're getting him. They're getting him on the racketeering. So just the whole conspiracy, multiple people coordinating, forcing people to do certain things. And how he's able to cover up, or he's threatening people. They got him on bribery. When something goes wrong, he's trying to pay someone off. And then the trafficking thing. I sent Pedro that video. Yeah. It's really that technical, right? And of course, the judges and the law is not going to take that's just too many cases. But you know what I mean? Like the idea, if you fly a person out for the purpose of sex, that is technically trafficking.
It's crazy. You know what? I got a little perspective from a friend of mine today, because we've been talking when this first happened with the Cassie, and I was asking him, what do you think about, because we were both, hip hop fans and Bad Boy, and we're both B.I.G. fans. And I asked him, you still rocking with Diddy, after all this? And his response was it's not a big deal. It's not really trafficking. It's just technically maybe it is, but he doesn't look at it that way. And the more I think about it, and you sending me that was funny, and I'm looking at some things. It definitely is, and I think that because I think if Diddy did this a couple times, if he had one party, or 2 parties or 3 parties, he's probably not being prosecuted, right? But I think the history, the longevity of it, how long he's been doing this, how many people are impacted, how many male and female prostitutes. I think the case is so big they couldn't ignore it. Because I think celebrities have similar parties? Probably, yeah. I think you can go to Hollywood and there's a party somewhere. You open the door like, damn, there's some shit going on. It happens. Yeah. But they're maybe more discreet or they're not doing it as often. It sounds like Diddy was just fucking like an animal with it. And it's crazy. Right. He clearly has a sexual addiction. And he's using his influence and power and money to put people in very compromising situations. But another question to you. If you know what this man's about and you get to this party, can't you leave? You know what I mean? If things
the freak off wasn't the normal. So there's different levels of the Diddy party. So he had a first, because I've seen a few videos where it looks like whoever's around in his circle is trying to suss out who's going to be down for this type of thing. Yeah. So the normal Diddy party, I'm assuming that, you know, probably majority of these celebrities are going to. He's not just walking around saying, "Hey man, I got this weird orgy thing is going to happen later on. You want to go?" Like he fishes them out. He tries to find. I forgot, it was one artist from the band, the group that he told everyone from Manhattan to walk to Brooklyn for cheesecake. And that's a long ass walk. So you can tell how desperate some people are for, you know, to get on, to be famous. Get on. He said, what he did, like he didn't go into the freak off party or the crazy party. He says what happens is there'll be a gay makeup artist or gay or something in the area. They'll probably say something to you and see how you will react to it. Or then it goes. So it's not, again, that's a conspiracy. Like that's a criminal enterprise. And the reason why I think a lot of people are after Diddy is not the fact that he's into weird sexual parties where he needs the IV drips and drugs. Is he has a long history of intimidating people, violently hurting people, apparently holding people hostage in certain situations if they got too abused or they're too much, like they either got a lot of bruises where they wait until they can heal up. This is a big deal beyond just, you know, the 1,000 bottles of lube. It's he was terrorizing people. I think the sex thing is in the freak parties. That's what's kind of like getting people's attention. Right. But I believe as this case unfolds, I think there's going to be bigger, more serious things that are going to come out. Is how I don't know. I mean, what is he ever going to see the light of day again? If he snitches, if they want somebody else, is that going to him? Like, I mean, I don't want to be like super dramatic here, but he is similar to Jeffrey Epstein, and Epstein, in my opinion, did not kill himself, and he's found dead in jail. No, he did not kill himself. No way. So Diddy almost is to that point where he has been partying with everything. Another thing that was in his indictment, he has videotapes of these parties. So he may have videotapes of very, very powerful people. Can you imagine? Not just rappers, but it could be executives, CEOs, politicians. Kind of similar thing that, right. So a lot of people are nervous. Hollywood has to be nervous because did you do something weird in this party? And do someone has it on videotape, and will that come out? And if the people definitely felt that way about Jeffrey Epstein, and Epstein is gone, right? So, and I'm not even joking. It's possible. I mean, he's in jail. He's been denied bail again. Yep. What happened? Like you assume that he's gonna be by himself and he's gonna have like a 24-hour watch on him, but you never know. People could send messages. Yo, this guy has to, because he knows too much. He has too much information. Yep. And it would be easy to do that. It depends on where he is. I'm not sure where he is stationed, but so he's in New York somewhere though, right? Yeah, I think he's still in New York because he's in jail. He's not he ain't in prison yet because he didn't get convicted. Yeah. So it depends on where he is. He's definitely not in general population or anything, right? So do you think? I mean, these sex tapes that the prosecutor said he would film.
sometimes, right? And maybe other people. Do you think these are going to see the light of day? Like, do they show these as evidence? Like, are these going to be leaked?
That's why that's why he
online?
said. I agree with you. You said earlier it's going to be crazy because there're going to be some celebrities that are going to have to testify.
Oh yeah, there's going to have to,
right? Meek Mill. What happened, man? Like, you gotta tell us now, and that's probably the end of your career because I mean, he already having some issues.
Yeah. I've been hearing Jay-Z. I don't know why Jay-Z's names. I saw some videos.
Yeah, that's one thing. That would break my heart, man.
Yeah,
if Jay-Z was involved. Like, I'm like, damn, man.
Bro.
Like, that guy came from Brooklyn, best and then to be a weirdo with the rest of them. That would actually be like, damn, man, that's fucked up.
Look at this
one. I know Nas didn't do it.
Had a freak off that sealed his fate.
Giggity. Well, you got evidence of that? And I would not want to see the video of that. I tell you that. No. But Charlene was talking about or asked a question about mental health. I saw a video a couple of hours ago about how I forgot it was either those guys that they sit down and talk to DJ Vlad and talk a lot about their personal life. But he said that Diddy didn't behave this way back in Harlem when he was coming up in Harlem. It's when he went to LA and dealing with all the LA glitz and glamour and the drugs and it looked like Diddy was an extremely hardworking guy that built himself up, but clearly he had some screws missing. And I think the fame, things working out, him working as hard as he did, that was one thing. Dude worked his ass off.
Yeah.
How much sleep was he having? How much drugs that he needed to keep it going? And then the problem is when you become so rich and powerful, and this happens to some of them, but that it kind of reminds me of the Squid Game. When you already experience everything that life offers, you're able to travel to everywhere you want to go, eat any exotic food you wanted. You've been around with so many women. You have experienced, you have the big shows, platinum records. I guess he starts to feel a void, like the same highs I can't receive anymore. I've had all the weed, I had all the drugs. So it gets to these extremely weird goddamn games of let's have male prostitutes flying.
Yeah. It's almost like, it's almost, I think you bring up a really valid point without knowing exactly where, theorizing here, but I think you're spot on because you could be normal in Harlem and you're trying to get up and I believe from what I understand.
Yeah.
Puff Daddy started as like a stylist for Jodeci. Okay. He was with Andre Harrell at that record company. He was a stylist for Jodeci. And then he started doing his thing, the bad boy, and then bam, you got Craig Mack and Biggie. Yeah. And he always working hard. I remember reading stories. He would sleep from like 4 a.m. to like 9 or 10, right? Because he was in the studio and he slept those 6 hours and then bam, back on the grind.
Yeah.
Okay, but to your point, I think when you give somebody or when somebody starts to get that much money and power and fame and they can get away with a little bit of this and get away with that, and then you have the means to stretch out the possibility of the wildness that's in your head, but you got the money to actually see it through.
Yeah, to fulfill.
That's a dangerous.
Yeah, to fulfill the weird shit. Yeah. And again, I don't think they're not hitting him they're not going to hit him with the fact that he wanted. Because all right, if he want to do an orgy, anyone who wants to do an orgy, you invite people. It's all consent. Yeah. Hey, do you want to do this? All right, come through. Well, we'll have everything set
at the front of the house or whatever. People know what that means. It's all good.
Right. You bring some Ciroc to the party. They all know what's going down. But the fact that he looks like forcing and coercing some of these people to participate to advance their career or to maintain their career, those things are the criminal element. Yeah. And the fact that he just walked around like he was a mob boss. And we still have rumors that he orchestrated a hit on Tupac. Who knows? That's actually going to pop off, and what happened there.
I wonder if that shit, the Tupac, the Biggie, I wonder if that stuff is mentioned at some point to the fact of his character. You know what I mean? Like when you're under trial like this, a lot of things from the past that might not be related can come out, right? Because it's a testament to your character or lack thereof. I wonder if those things are going to be mentioned. If people
maybe, I mean, just to try to see, maybe what happens if he gets convicted? He's not ever coming out. Do you finally just admit that we did? You're not coming out.
Yeah.
You know, Chicky Chops. I've seen videos of bodyguards and people who were close. I think Mark Curry, another artist that he was with, Diddy, that said that they purposely spiked drinks. They even said there were separate bottles. They say, yo, don't drink the bottles over there. Those are for the women. That's for the chicks. Drink the other bottles because they're not laced with drugs. Again, that's all alleged, but there are going to be so many.
It's going to be
witnesses to this. Everyone trying to save their own asses at that point. It's like, hey, we'll give you immunity. Tell us what you need to know. Oh, that's where the floodgates open.
Beyond Jay-Z, because that would also be like, damn. Like, can you imagine some really? And if he's just, but beyond that, what's a name besides Jay-Z's that if you heard was a part of these freak shows or freak whatevers, would you be like, damn, like surprised by, or like that would really like take you back? Not Meek Mill and the other.
I mean, I tell you, man, we had a point right now where nothing surprises me, which is so sad. Like, you can tell who is not talking about it. You're like, oh, you know, kind of silent about it, but there's a few that you can tell were just uncomfortable with it. I remember that video with him and Fabulous, and he kept telling, oh, Fabulous, why do you want to come to my party? And Fabulous looked visibly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because he already know who that guy is. Or Bieber. Justin Bieber, I don't know if you've seen a video of him and Bieber. Bieber looks visibly uncomfortable, like something may have happened already.
Or he's seen things. Or
he's seen some shit. Yeah. So there's some people that's like, oh, dude, you're taking this way too far. So the people who are truly loyal to him, you know what they probably are about.
Man, it's I think there's a lot of, I think we're just scratching the surface of what we're gonna find out, who's involved. I just wonder, I mean, is he gonna off himself? I don't want that. You know, is he gonna unalive?
For some reason, man, I don't think he's the type of person that would do that. That's why I know if something were to happen, and I'm like, yes, first of all, I was watching a YouTube video of a lawyer, and he kind of said something that was really interesting. He said, you know, if he would have just paid off Cassie, maybe a lot of this wouldn't be going on. Well, and he said that because he's confident that it was a good chance that Cassie's lawyers said, look, we're going to do this. We're not going to make it public yet, but we're going to do this. It may not be true, but I feel like they probably, because that's what lawyers do. It's like, oh, let's bring this to Diddy's lawyer. Hey, listen, this is what's going to happen. What do you want to do? And Diddy had to say, because the guy's ego is all out of control, nah, I ain't doing shit. And then it hits the goddamn airwaves, and he pays 24 hours later.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Like, do you think it was?
I think if it's obviously he had to. He's not stupid. Okay, you don't become that successful and be dumb.
Yeah.
He had to have known he was going to get caught up at some point. There's too many people seeing and being a part of this and that. Are these prostitutes signing NDAs? Are they? You know how tight did he have this? But he had to have known this day was coming. But I think you're probably right. If he would have gotten ahead of it, I think the Cassie thing was what got the ball rolling. And then once people saw that, it's like, okay, now maybe I feel comfortable in telling my story, and all the prosecutors are looking into things. And so I think he's not dumb, but if he would have just said, here's fucking 20 million.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if that the lawyers usually, and I'm assuming, but sometimes that may not have been true, that he may have been hit just aside, but that they probably would say, hey, listen, you owe a lot of money because of this. And she had a lot of details. You need to pay. And I know, but I got to actually stay up. I got a few things to do. That's why
Hannibal, you got a party to go to.
No, I got no party to go to. I got to do some editing. I got to stay up a little bit longer, but don't worry. I'm not no Diddy parties, no crazy stuff like that. But I'm wondering if that's that his ego and is going to be a downfall. I mean, of course, if all these things are true, and it looks like a lot of it is, he's going to be in trouble anyway. But it's possible that he could have, like I said, got ahead of this, and he failed to do so.
Is he going to see the light of day? Is he going to be in prison for the rest of? He's 54. Is he going to be in prison for the rest of his adult life for the most part, or not? You think he's
probably?
You think so?
Yeah, there's too many charges. There's too many. The sex trafficking is too many years. Like, yeah, he's. I mean, they denying bail from him.
So do you think
they
they
don't
deny
want
bail because of how much money, and they know he can get on a private jet and boom and be out somewhere?
probably. And in the case, it's very severe. And the judge was actually talking about all of like the hotel stuff. Like his behavior is so bad that they didn't want to get any backlash by even allowing him to bail. And he was prepared. He was about to sell homes. All his family was going to sign off on things to get it. Like he was desperate to not be in jail. But the judge was like, hell no, you staying in there. Probably that may be it. Even if he makes a deal, it's still going to be what, 25 years? He's coming out 70, 80. That's it.
You would think, yeah. I mean, he's going to a place that he's going to be able to have a lot of the sex that he wants. I guess it's one way to look at it.
Well, that is positive.
For him, I mean, that's a positive spin, P. Diddy. There you go.
I mean, I guess that's one thing, but I think he's, his legacy is going to be destroyed. He has so many kids, and who knows what they're thinking. I wonder if they kind of realize that a lot of what he was doing was wrong. But again, that's your dad. It's I think it's more to, I guess, interesting point is everyone else. What was their role in it?
Yep.
Why they didn't say anything?
Yep.
Were they just worried about their career? People care about money. People care about their own stuff. Where you may see this guy doing things wrong and you don't say anything about it. I wonder how they feel, how they get up and do anything. Like,
yeah.
And,
I heard, we talked about the Tupac Biggie, but remember he was married, or I know he had twins or kids with the model Kim Porter, and she died. And there have been videos, it's been a little while, but of people talking about how Puff Daddy has this history of people around him dying and in weird ways. And, now I just thinking about this and talking about him reminded me of the Kim Porter situation. And I don't know, Diddy, it's like a movie.
It opens up the floodgates of every weird-ish thing that's ever happened, whether he had something to do with it or not. He may have not had anything to do with it, but everything now is open. And I'm assuming if you're Diddy, you're gonna probably try to fight this, because it's either that or you're gonna not. Even if you get 20 years, you're 50 something.
Yeah, but
you're not coming out. You might as well fight it, right? I mean,
yeah, you're 50. Yeah, but if there's video tapes, I would imagine this prosecuting team, they've obviously spoken to other people. So you have eyewitnesses that are going to have to testify, whether to or not. If they get called upon, you got to do that. Right. So I don't know how he fights it if there's so many people. He already said he pleaded innocent, right?
He's not guilty. Yeah,
but that's common for even if you're guilty.
Yeah. You either gotta work with the lawyers over there, see, or the prosecutor, see if you can get something.
I think he's up on a technicality or something, and still, that happens. That not all.
If there's evidence of him, he can say, if I don't know,
he can say,
"Hey, I didn't make those calls."
He can say
they did.
He can say it was consensual. Hey,
Yeah, the sex was consensual, which that could be a point. Who's coordinating male prostitutes over to across the country? Oh, it wasn't me. Say that, unless you got records of you saying that.
Right.
Like electronically. If you have any, if you said anything by just talking, you can lie. I mean, at this point, I'm sure he's thinking of all the ways. I'm sure he's a manipulator.
Oh, for sure.
Sure.
But you know what? I asked you who I thought would be the top. What name would I hear if I would be like, damn, I got one right now. That if this man's name is on that list, or if he's on the video, the YouTubes and the TikToks is gonna implode.
What was that?
Shannon Sharp.
Did he party with Diddy?
I don't know, but if Shannon Sharp is doing if he's on a video, because he just lied about not knowing he was on IG Live. If he's on a video,
that was a big commercial. It was lame. Yeah, it was whatever. Like
those little rock stars or whatever he makes a video. Shannon Sharp makes a video talking about he's embarrassed because of his kids, and I gotta say the right thing. But here he's plugging products. Like, it was so bad, man.
It was with Shannon.
He's fallen off. I was a big fan.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say I agree completely. He has gone to Hollywood. He needs to chill out. He's already ridiculously successful. You don't have to do all this weird stuff, man.
Yeah, but
But it looks like that's a part of him, though.
Obviously he was always very successful with football. But I think this whole internet, social media, I think it just made Shannon Sharp somebody different.
Because he's making so much money.
Making so.
I think he's making more money than he play football.
Oh, by far.
So he's accumulating money that it's just crazy. But it's just he needs to chill out. You got it, man. You don't need to do this weird stuff and weird handbags and like
if his name's on that list, man, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna be laughing.
Well, I don't know if he got on before Diddy like was at his apex where he was grabbing any celebrity, but I'm assuming a lot of celebrities, a lot of powerful people have to be nervous, and those who are not, like Ice Cube, doesn't have to worry about that.
No,
he didn't. He's like, nah, that's not my thing.
Yeah,
you know.
I think he's got something very, usually he's, a little wild, but Diddy's addiction was making.
Yes, absolutely. It's not about just hanging out with people who are down with that. That's not fun for predators.
No,
it's the power to make you do the thing that they don't want to do.
Yep,
that's what gets him going, rather than a like-minded people just hanging out. That's probably boring for him.
He could have done that already because he's got the money, influence. Right. Could have had sex. It's very easy when you got. It just is, right? It's not you and I. He's in a whole nother category. But to Giggity's point, I think it's more about the power, the control, the manipulation. He gets off on people an hour ago. We're like, no, I'm good. I don't want to take those drugs. I'm good. And then an hour later, they're fucking having sex and they're getting, and they're, and he got exactly what he wanted and he turned them out. I think that's what he gets off on.
Yeah. And that's the common narrative, a situation with a lot of rappers, that this is happening with executives forcing you to do certain things. Or like going back to the acting thing with Terry Crews talking about an executive grabbed him, and how crazy. I'm sitting there like, you are a former football player. Will you just strangle that guy? But he was a powerful man. And Terry Crews wanted his career, and he wanted he didn't want to play football. He didn't like playing football, but he wanted to get on. And that's the thing that a lot of people, we all hope that we would not fall for that. Like we wouldn't just be taken advantage of.
But that's easier said than done, I think. If you're not, I've never been in a compromising situation like that.
Right.
Probably, I'm assuming you haven't either.
Yeah.
So it's easy to say, oh, I would do this or I would do that or I would walk out of that room. It's easy to say that, but it's hard when you're trying to get on and you got no money maybe and you're just trying to get
your family's back home. They're broke. You may have a kid. You're not working. I mean, you're doing your thing. You didn't sign any deals yet. You didn't get on, and you're up and coming rapper. And then Diddy says, "Come to this party, bring 5 bottles of lube, and I could change your life." What are you gonna do?
It's the casting couch. It's a real thing. It's women. It's in all different industries. Do I think it's happening as much now as it was back probably in the 80s and 90s? No, I don't. Because I think everybody's got a phone now and people are like, but do I think, I think Puff Daddy's been doing his things for a while. He's not the only one. There's obviously the Weinsteins and the Cosbys and R. Kelly. But, and I even think there's people that aren't household names, aren't celebrities, but maybe they are executives or producers that are doing shit like this too. They're basically just taking advantage of people that just want to make it, because money is such a powerful thing. Fame is such a powerful drug, right? Our boy Nas talks about it, man. Fame it gets you. And I think that a lot of people, it's easier said than done to be put in that kind of situation. It's almost like you're like shocked. Like, is this really happening? Did they really propose that? Did they really touch me? And you're almost like numb. You don't even know. You know what I mean? So it's a sad way of saying it, but you paid your dues, especially if you get on, and all of a sudden now you're able to do everything you want. But then there's always something in the back of your mind that has to be feeling funny because you were exploited. Yes, P. R. Kelly's in jail for the rest of his life. He's not coming out anytime soon. Crazy, man.
Same thing, sex trafficking. So that's what DJ like. He kind of said, he's like, he didn't go to jail for the underage girls. He went to jail for sex trafficking.
You know,
the feds know what to hit you with, that they can get the convictions. You know, the feds ain't slow.
It's like, it reminds me of Al Capone. Al Capone went for tax evasion.
Right. Because they had nothing else. They couldn't stop. They couldn't. How many times he beat the cases?
All kinds.
Gotti beat a bunch of cases. Eventually they're like, you know what? Let's get, since federal time is always more, hit them with something that we can prove without reasonable doubt. Like, we can prove that you didn't pay your taxes.
Yeah.
And it's similar to the other one. So the feds take a very long time to investigate. He was under investigation a long time. And then when they hit you, you got to either make a deal or try to fight it. And it's really hard to beat the feds. It's possible. People have. But in this case, no, I think this is it for Diddy. And he better find ways to hide his money, because everyone's going to sue him and all that money is going to be gone. So I don't know what ways to hide or put money away or throw it to his kids or whatever he needs to start figuring out, because the estate is going to be dissolved.
You better have some cash hidden away. And usually with, he was trying to live that gangster lifestyle, that whatever. Mobsters and gangsters, they got cash in places, right?
Yeah. I'm sure. I mean, if he's a smart person, he probably has money different places, signing stuff off to his mom. Like, I'm sure at this point, when he realizes this is where it's going to go, but the estate is going to get hit. And the thing is, he was like super successful. He had the music, he had the label, he had the obviously the Ciroc. He had at one point clothing. I don't know if he still sells the Sean John clothing. He had the Revolt little TV network thing.
Yep.
All that is going to probably be taken away, at least from him, because a lot of people are going to start asking for some money. He already lost $100 million lawsuit. He didn't even answer that.
It's crazy.
He lost one a couple of maybe like a week or two ago. So he is screwed. And I don't feel I feel sorry for everyone that's involved. The talent he had, the people that probably didn't get on because they didn't do the weird shit that he wanted to do. But
Bad Boy Records still, was he still producing under the Bad Boy Entertainment label, or has that been?
He had an album that came out like maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Right. No, I remember. I feel like it was a Love album or something, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's probably still under Bad Boy, I'm assuming.
I'm gonna look it up. I didn't know if they were still kind of doing music.
Yeah. And the woman that was in that album is suing him now.
Well, if she sees dollar signs. So
I'm sure. From what from some of the accusations, there are a lot of he broke it. He barged into the dressing room and felt her buttocks. Felt her in the butt. Apparently, kept her practicing in a recording studio for 48 hours. Like some crazy stuff. But she's gonna have to find ways to corroborate that.
You can't just sue to sue, but
so that album came out last year.
Yeah,
a Love album, Off the Grid.
Right. Was that on Bad Boy?
Let's see.
I didn't know if Bad Boy was still like a thing. You know what I mean? Like if he had that label still, that was a business, and he was still.
He may still have. Well, he did give away everyone's publishing, even though the publishing didn't mean much anymore because it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Where do you find those type of things?
Yeah, I was trying to look at it. Not that it matters, but I didn't know if he still had that record label.
Apparently it's 2023 Love Records, so it has to be under Bad Boy.
Probably.
Because when you have these companies and you have sub levels, and I'm barely figuring it out, but we'll see what's going on, but let's try to clean up all this baby oil with some football, some normal stuff.
Let me pull up the games, man. I want to go through a couple of these. I'm gonna give you my picks. You guys ready for all my gambling people out there? All right.
Yeah, so definitely a L for the Giants. They're not beating the Browns. The Browns, that's a pick. That's a good game to kind of get back in the flow of things, because they miss Baker Mayfield. All of a sudden, he's a beast, and it's kind of hilarious that it happens to the Browns.
It's great. They gave all that money to Watson, let Baker walk, and then
Baker wasn't that guy at the end. But I heard it was a shoulder injury and blah blah blah. But you know what I mean?
I think Baker got humbled. And I'm gonna say this. So he went from the Browns to the Panthers. Panthers let him go, and he's with the Rams for half a year. He played 1 or 2 games. But I remember seeing a video clip that he had to talk about where he was running like pad drills. He was doing drills that most quarterbacks don't do.
Yeah.
And he was doing it just because he kind of like had to. He was a third string quarterback. And now he's with the Bucks. I think he ate some humble pie. And I think he, got another chance, and he's taking advantage of it. And good for him. I mean,
but what's different if you watch? I don't know if you ever had a chance to watch him playing.
Organization.
Is okay? So it wasn't his talent, physical talents, or his ability to read the defenses and read offense and put things together. It was just a bad situation.
I think so. I think you're talking about Browns.
Yeah.
Historically ran not very well. They're not good. The Panthers, the best year.
Not since Cam. Yeah.
They just benched their number 1 pick from last year. So, and with the Rams, he was there for like a few weeks. So that's.
Did he have some good games? I'm wondering what it was. Every once in a while, that's the thing that was always kept going. Like he would have a good game.
Sure. Yeah.
And I guess like you said, it's all about the environment, because if you're able to do it, then you just got to put yourself in the best position where you can do it often with the right people. But it's cool. I mean, yeah, you're right. No more commercials. You don't see him in all those commercials anymore. He's not that guy.
Nope.
I don't know if he could be, if he continues this, would he be a comeback player of the year?
It's possible. I mean, he played good last year though too. So I don't know. They went to the playoffs, and so yeah. I think he's just humbled himself, and he's gotten a little older, and he understands he's got with a good team, a good organization, and I think that has a lot to do with it. As far as some of the games, I mean, tomorrow you got the Jets and the Patriots. That's the Jets win right there. You got Chargers and Steelers. They're both 2-0. I don't know. I'm not betting on that game.
Yeah.
The Texans and Vikings are both 2-0. I'm not touching that. Eagles and Saints, not touching that.
DJ.
Broncos, I would bet the Bucks on that one. Titans and Packers, I bet the Titans. The Packers don't have their starting quarterback. Tennessee hasn't won yet. Browns and Giants, we'll skip that one. Bears and Colts, I'm not touching that, because the Bears aren't very good. Panthers and Raiders, that's the Raiders all day. I don't think the Panthers are going to win one game this year. Seahawks should beat the Dolphins. You got no Tua. So I don't know who they're going to start at the quarterback, but the Seahawks are 2-0.
Yeah, who's starting in Miami?
I don't know.
I swore I heard it, but I don't remember.
Thompson. They got a guy named Skylar Thompson. Is it going to be
him?
Yeah,
it was like I don't know. I
think it's him. He played last year or a year before. Yeah, Cowboys and Ravens. That's the game of the week. In my opinion, the Ravens are 0-2.
That's a game. I'm not gonna.
I'm not.
What would you bet? What would you bet if you're not gonna do? But what would you bet?
Well, Cowboys just got whooped at home. They're at home again. Ravens,
Cowboys, I think Cowboys gonna.
Ravens are 0-2. They got to be hungry. There's no way the Ravens are going 0-3. So if I had to bet, I would bet on the Ravens.
What is the gambling line on that game? Baltimore.
Baltimore's getting Baltimore's favored. No, hold up. Detroit. Baltimore's favored by 1 point.
Bobby says, hold your nose and take the Panthers +5. Nah, I don't know, man.
See, when I make bets, sometimes I do money line. I do money line.
Oh, you don't do spreads?
I don't do the spreads sometimes, because I would agree with Bobby on that. Because do I think they could lose by 4 or 3? Andy Dalton's quarterback, they get a little bit of a bump of energy, but they're not beaten. Who are they playing again? Hold up. Who was it?
Oh no, you parlay Pedro, so you may hit that and link that with a parlay. Like, you know what? Let me take the 5.5 on
the Raiders in Vegas. No, the Panthers aren't. They might cover, but they're not. No.
So any underdogs? Any dogs that may win?
Looking at it here, Falcons play the Chiefs in Atlanta. I can see the Falcons beating the Chiefs. Chiefs lost. They just signed Kareem Hunt, but they lost Isaiah Pacheco for like 2 months. So they were without their starting running back. I can see the Falcons beating the Chiefs. I can see that.
How about I see Detroit. I wonder who's favored. Would you?
Right here. Detroit and Arizona. Detroit's favored. They're getting 3. Or
would you take?
The Cardinals' offenses look good, but I don't know.
I don't know. Marvin Harrison Jr. It's funny. the dude was like, "It's not my job to pass it to him." And then someone must have said, "What the fuck you talking about?" It's like, we talk about you. Yeah, it is your job to get him the ball. It's your job to get him the ball. Whatever you like. It's Kyle. He's an interesting cat, man. You could tell. Some plays you could tell they don't care about the sport as much as we want them to. He's like, I'm just talented. I don't care. Like,
he'd rather play video games,
Fortnite,
yeah, Fortnite, whatever. Like, that's what he'd rather do. But I mean, games for me, I got 6 when I counted earlier today. Because I was looking at it before. I am going to place a bet. I had, I think, 6 or 7 games. I had, if I'm going to do it, I would say I'd go money line. I'd go Jets, and then the other games were Buccaneers, Titans, Browns, Raiders, Seahawks, and the Bills on Monday. That's 7 games. So if you bet, I got a winning ticket. I got a cash still. It's $88. If I put $88 in those 7 games, that ticket's worth probably $600. So
that's a lot of games. That's a lot of games, though.
It is a lot. It is a lot. But that's,
like maybe it hit like 4. I'll be happy with 4.
Yeah, but if 4 is like 300, I don't want 300. I want 600.
I mean, we all want more money. I'm just what's likely to happen. Texan versus the Vikings. You already said that. Who's going to win that one?
Yeah, I'm not touching that. They're both 2-0. I think Vikings have been pretty good. They're at home. So Houston's favored by 2.
Yeah.
When teams are kind of equal and it's close, and then one team that maybe is not as good is at home, I don't really touch those games because that's just got kind of a coin flip for me.
Right.
I try to
like unless you have like some inside knowledge of what you think may happen. I hear you.
Yeah, if I had that, just share if I had inside scoop.
Titans, you're drunk betting money on that quarterback.
Who?
The Titans. Who's the quarterback for Titans?
Will Levis, but the Titans are. I don't look at it like that. You have to look at trends too. So the Titans are 0-2. They're at home. They're playing the Packers. The Packers have Malik Willis run. I mean, they won this last week, but I don't think the Packers are going to be able to sustain with the quarterback like that. So I think Levis is a little bit better than the Malik Willis dude. So that's why I would put the Titans in there. Plus, they're going to win a game, and they've been close the last 2 weeks. I think they're going to win a game. I think Levis play a little bit better. So
yeah, I think Pia asked a question earlier. She said, what was the question? So after 2 games, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I don't know, man. Who knows? Who knows, man? I thought the Chiefs lost that running back. It's a big deal for them, but I think they're still the favorite. A few teams I thought would have been a little bit better have lost or haven't won at all yet. So we'll see.
Are we still like the offense is still like preseason mode type of thing?
Yeah, I mean they don't play a lot in the preseason, so sometimes it takes a couple of weeks to kind of get used to certain things. But
yeah,
the quarterback play, I read a stat. There's like 20 less touchdowns have been thrown in the first 2 weeks than the previous years. So quarterbacks just aren't putting up the big numbers like they used to. It's the offense is down in the NFL, and it is odd. But to your point, a lot of people are saying the preseason has something to do with that. They're just not ready. They're not game ready. They're not prepared.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that the offense slows down a bit. I would love that for basketball. It's just too much. Everyone just throwing threes all over the place, and lose all of the physicality of the game. But like I said, this seems like more of an offense issue, not necessarily defenses of just figure everything out and just crushing everyone. So probably in a couple of weeks we'll probably see. But I mean, scoring does put people in the seats. People want to watch the scores. Defensive battles is not something we give a shit about.
No.
But it's nice, in my opinion. Any Caitlin Clark news? She's gonna. I just saw she scored another career high, like 38 or some crazy shit a couple days ago.
35. So she'll win Rookie of the Year. Angel Reese will get some votes. It won't be unanimous. She's gonna win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. She's had statistically she's had the best year actually, I think, ever. If you look at everything, Asia Wilson's, it's been good. But
until Caitlin Clark does it next year.
Until she does it next year, which I think she might. The Fever, I think the playoffs start on Sunday.
Okay.
Playoffs for the first time in 7 years. Caitlin Clark broke the record for most threes in a season, most assists ever, not just by a rookie, most points by a rookie, all kinds of records. points created the most ever. So that means the points she created were her scoring and her assists. Nobody's ever created that much offense for a team ever in one season. Now, the one caveat that we do need to, the one disclaimer is, in the last few, they've extended the schedule. So Caitlin Clark has had a few more games to do it than some of the women back in the, when the league started.
Yeah, you have to calculate that
So,
kind of.
There's something to be said for that. But at the end of the day, she's, I
I
think
mean, what can you say about her season? Remember when she first started to now? Did she exceed your expectation? Or you knew this was going to happen? Like, what was your? I remember what we talked about before, but to see how it went from the little bit of a slump, until now.
No, I think she exceeded everybody's, maybe except hers. But yeah, I think if you would have told me in the beginning of the year, or even after the first, I think they were 1-8. The first 9 games, they were 1-8 or 1-7, something like that.
Yeah,
but a lot of back-to-backs, and their schedule in the beginning was rough. And then they've been the second best team in the WNBA after the All-Star break, as far as wins and losses. But if you would have told me in the beginning of the year she was going to break all those records and the Fever were going to be in the playoffs, I would have been like, nah, I don't know. That's a lot. But she did. So I am definitely surprised that she played as well. And it didn't take her that long. Once she got to like game 10, she had it figured out. The teammates around her were playing a little bit better. So I think she was playing better. The turnovers weren't great, but they did go down. So I think she's, I think my expectations next year is, depending on how playoffs go, I think it's going to be her and Asia Wilson for the next 5 years going to be the best players in the league, hands down. As long as they're healthy, those are the faces of the league right now. So
I think they're going to be a new extension team. I forgot where. Was it Portland or something?
It's a place that had a team before, and they lost that team. Portland, yeah.
Okay, so Portland gets a team, and you got to, maybe this already was in the plans before the season, but you gotta thank Caitlin. I mean, no one brings in the people that she does, and like you said, there's probably going to be other players coming in the league that may have the same, not to say the same skill level, but could kind of bring that kind of attention. The WNBA is going in the right direction. They just need to calm down. They just need to chill out. Kind of realize who's the main person and feed off of that, not hate. Stop hating and feed off it. Show how you're better than her on the court rather than throw in because she's white. And the Caitlin Clark fan base, some of them are ridiculous. But I think they're doing that on purpose. They're trolling.
Yeah.
Because they didn't like WNBA. Don't like the way some of the players behaved, the way they talked to the fans.
Yeah.
So, they're feeding off of that as well.
She got a little heat from some of the radical Caitlin Clark, like the new WNBA.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The ones who, do they really care? Or they're like, we're tired of how woke the WNBA is. And I'm going to go by talking about how great she is. May not even watch the game.
Yep.
Probably not even watching the games. But that's the problem. You sometimes you do invite trolls when you do and say certain things.
Yeah.
And the way the WNBA have been behaving, at least some of the players, you invite that kind of energy.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they're dealing with.
Yeah, and I'll say this: the team that's going to have a not the same but similar impact, or at least get a lot of recognition next year. I'm going to call it now the LA Sparks. So they drafted the big tall blonde Cameron Brink. She got hurt.
She got hurt. Yeah.
But they got the number 1 pick, and that number 1 pick is going to be Paige Beckers, the guard from UConn. You're going to team them 2 chicks together. That team is going to be better than they are this year. They'll be better next year just because of a healthy Cameron Brink and Paige. But I'm telling you, those 2 girls are superstars. They're attractive. They're on social media. The WNBA, like you just said a couple minutes ago, it is in a good spot. It's going to continue to grow. The Caitlin Clark effect is real, whether you like it or not. Yeah, it's a fact. Okay, you got another team in Portland. They had a team in Portland before. They lasted only 3 years, and now they're going to get another one. I wouldn't be surprised in 3 years from now there's maybe another team. But it's a Caitlin Clark effect. But you're going to have other young ladies coming in the league. Juju Watkins, I mentioned her. I mean, she's going to be better in some regards. I mean, she's a hooper. So the WNBA is going to be good. I think once we get past all the haterism and Cheryl Swoops talking crazy, once we get past all that, I think the game will speak for itself. Long term, I think it's going to be in a really good spot. So.
Yeah, and you're gonna, Caitlin Clark doing what she does is going to inspire a lot of other girls to do like, damn, I like that. I like, and people may be more athletic, even have more skill. Like this is like that Jordan effect when Jordan was coming up, and then you saw it, the dream team, like, damn, that guy's, I want to play basketball.
Very similar.
And very, very similar, how it kind of like a disruptor in the industry. So we'll see. Jesus. All right. Well, I'm gonna put this comment up before we leave.
That's a good way to end it.
All right, Diddy. Giggity Diddy.
Oh, you know what? Well, why didn't we come up with that earlier?
Yeah, but I think even Gig would not be doing such ridiculous stuff as Diddy does. At least don't pump IV fluids into people. I'm not. Imagine that, being so exhausted from sex, you need IV fluid. Like, what is?
Bro, look at this man's avatar. It's Quagmire or whatever, right?
Yeah, Quagmire is definitely a Diddy. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, some of the stuff on that show what he was doing was outrageous. It's interesting that you can't put that on TV. Can you put that as a new show? The Quagmire, it just wouldn't work. Not we're too sensitive nowadays.
You can't, but that shit's funny. It
is funny. It is funny. All right, so we're back Monday with our Giants and Bears doing what they usually do. So good luck to all your teams that actually are doing something.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be back here on Monday. Peace.
No Diddy.